Hey everybody, welcome to a live session today. Special live Saturday edition of Morning Coffee, or in this case, afternoon tea. Having my green tea with you guys today. Today I want to talk about something that somebody brought up in the user group. How to develop a better sleep routine. And it's maybe a little bit more complex than you would want, but at the same time, I guess if you take a step back, it's a little common sense also. There's a lot of things we throw in the way of getting good sleep, and we justify it in different ways, and we're tempted away from it in different ways. So we're going to talk about that. Talk about whatever you guys have. You know, if you have questions for me in any regard to the whole defined life system, let me know. Get me a message in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. If you'd rather watch the Vikings play, I understand that too. So if you're catching the replay, you can always ask questions in the comments, and I come back and answer them in the comments or do another video later on. It just depends on, what we got going on. I will be giving away a couple of things today, a couple of our favorite things. So I have the Pilot bottle to pen recycled plastic pens. It's a 5-pack. Comes in everything from purple, blue, green to pink. They're pretty cool. If you're an environmentally conscious type of person, these are good for you. I also have a 3-pack of Pilot highlighters. These are erasable highlighters. So if you highlight something that you decide, not worth it, you can erase that highlight. And then the last one I have is the sticker mega pack. The essential stickers are really popular on our website. We have all different kinds: teacher, student, faith, monthly, kick-ass. She believes she could are probably our most popular. But this is the mega pack, which has a component of almost all of those, including some that we don't have. But like I see the kick-ass ones on here. I see the essentials. She believes she could, and I see the monthly. And I believe there's even like the health and fitness ones are also really popular. I think there's a couple of those in here too. So we'll be giving away this. It's a $15 item. The pens are a little bit under $10, I believe. So giving away some decent stuff, and I'll tell you how to win them as we go through here today. A little tip, it usually is for participation. So if you offer some insights into what we're talking about, I usually pick a comment and you win something from that. So we've in the past given away candles and bath bombs and all that stuff. So this time we're doing pens and stickers for your planner. And you should all be doing a Define My Day planner, right? Like everybody's doing that, right? Absolutely, we have to. What is this? Well, first of all, let me ask you this. I have a couple of people on right now with me. Who's on? Throw your name on if you care to share. Who's on with me right now? And I know we're going to have some people hopping on as we go along here, because it always seems to be a struggle sometimes to find the video feed. So hopefully everybody finds it okay. So as we're going along here, right now we're talking about sleep. And in Define My Day, let's see if I have a good example here. In Define My Day, it's one of our daily disciplines. So in this coffee-stained sample I have here for you, this is one of the books I used last week, and I spilled coffee on it during our morning coffee session. You can pop up. There we go. So here you can see rest is the number one daily discipline that we have on our list. We have all these other things that I wrote down in my example here, but the 6 main ones are rest, exercise, eat well, water, read, positive interaction. Then you can write all of the other ones that you like, and hopefully the goal is to get them all the way across. Like journaling, if you only do it one day. If you didn't get the amount of rest that you say. When I do this, I usually put my goal is 7 hours. So you get 7 hours, and if you don't get the 7 hours, you don't get to check that off. And, how does this fit into everything that we're doing? The whole process, why does it matter? And so I've been trying to formulate a way to visualize this. I've been trying to do it for years. And I thought maybe this could help a little bit. So So in the mornings when I would get up, I'd do a phone call with a buddy of mine. We used to be accountability partners at like 6 in the morning. And some mornings I wake up and it would just be so foggy in my backyard and I couldn't see anything in front of me. And you really just don't know what's 20 feet beyond. You don't know if there's deer. You don't know if there's anything, right? And it's kind of the vision that I imagined when you're not clear on your goals or not clear on the path of your life. You're kind of walking around in the woods and there's a heavy fog in front of you and you can only see the path that's right in front of your feet. And so you walk in that direction, but you're not clear on where you're going to end up. And so the more you can clarify your vision, the more you can be efficient with your actions and move in the direction of your purpose and goals, right? And so that's the overriding principle of this process, is that we try to find our path to our best selves. We avoid the desert of distraction. And this is why, like, the book, The Second Mountain, resonated with me so much when I found it a couple of years ago. It's a David Brooks book. That visualization of, you're climbing a mountain, these goals, and there's all sorts of obstacles and things that can get in your way. And a lot of times, and this is the visualization that I use in the way I plan. But in his book, he talks about getting to that second mountain, or getting to that mountain and then realizing there's actually another mountain. And you have to climb back down and go through all of the stuff, the weeds, the muck, the river, the all of it. And you have to then climb another mountain. And this is analogous to, you maybe you're in your 20s or 30s and you're going for that dream job and marriage and everything. And then you get to it and you realize, like, this wasn't my mountain. And then you start really solidifying what your life plan should be, absent all of the expectations that were sort of put upon you by maybe other people, whether it's your parents or friends, or how the path that you were already on and the people that were around you on that path. And this process is about being on the right path as early in life as possible. And then once you realize you're not on the right path, steering the direction in the proper path. And so so that's one part of the visualization for me. But the other part is that like, I feel like when we're walking around, we have this vision of where we want to go. So that's my mountain right there. That's what I visualize my life to be like. And then we have us here, and we have this view of, like, these are all the activities we can do, and we think that if we do all of them, we're still going to end up here. But what's actually going on is that these activities over here take us that direction or that direction, right? We're not going in the direction that we want, which is there. And so I change this visualization to this, right? And this is probably the more accurate representation of the path we can take. And so here we are, living our lives, and we have things we can do today that take us here. But if we're not careful, we can do things over here that take us over here. So these things all over here are distractions, right? These are all the things that take us off of our path. Our ideal path is straight ahead, but that may not necessarily be easy to do. So our path usually looks like this, right? And we finally end up there. And these are all of the things that can take us on that path. But at some point, even if we're heading this direction towards the path, we do need to correct to go to that ideal place. So it's always about, looking here and then whittling down the actions that we can take today. And these are our priorities, right? These are our daily priorities. And then every day as we move forward, we're then, again, looking at all the things we can do and whittling them down to the priority that we can do today. And on this mountain is job, personal responsibilities, personal goals, your health, all of the things we talk about with Define My Day. It's not just about like that one thing you want. It's that all-encompassing whole life purpose that you have and vision for yourself. But to get here, we have to have a solid foundation. And so these are the three legs, as I see it right now, of a solid foundation. We have our focus, right? I almost wrote it wrong, but we have our focus, which is what we're talking about when we talk about this. And refining our focus, developing that vision and clarity for where we want to go is right here. We also have mindset, right? So the mindset is the appreciation, the allowing ourselves to be still, being emotionally resilient, being having equanimity, being mindful of those moments in the day, and enjoying our lives, right? Having fun along the journey, not just waiting, like sacrificing today for later. We're trying to actually get to this place in a healthy way, which brings me to my last one. So the last one is, we'll lump two together, but it's health and habits, right? And this is where the daily disciplines come in. This is where sleep comes in. And so with a strong foundation of these three pillars of what makes us who we are today, focus, mindset, and health, we can then move forward in the most efficient way possible. And even if we make mistakes, even if we get over in the distractions, the more healthy we are, the more clear and focused we are, the quicker we can auto-correct and get back to that path that takes us to where we want to go, even if it's a long, treacherous path. And so today we're talking about sleep. So in that, we were asked in the group, how do you develop a healthy sleep routine? Like I said, it's easy, but it's not, because everything around us says don't do this. All right, before we get into it, I want to give something away and I want to say hello. So Brenda, being the first person to comment, I'm here, need to improve my sleep. Don't we all? So Brenda, I'm going to give you your choice. So you write in the comments which one you want, and I'm going to take it off the table. So you can have the 5-pack of the bottle to pen recycled pens. You can have the mega sticker pack, which includes 1,400 stickers, or you can you could buy them, but you can get the 3-pack of the friction erasable highlighters. So you tell me in the comments which one you want, and when you win something, anybody else that might win something, what I want you to do is go and create a help desk ticket. And this sounds more complicated than it is, but it's really not. So you go to definemyday.com, which is our store, and on the bottom right-hand corner is a blue question mark. Click on that, and it'll ask you for your name and your email address, and just put in the message there to Luann that it's a you won, who you are. You won the pens, please send them to, and then the address that you want them sent to. That'll go straight to Luann, and she will create the order for you, and we'll get them shipped out for you next week. All right, Brenda wants the 3-pack friction. Awesome. I like it. Very cool. Congratulations. I'm glad. I really do like these. I use these when I'm reading a paperback book, or even hardcover book, but a physical book. It's easy to highlight with these, and sometimes you mess up a little bit. It's nice to be able to erase it. It's pretty cool. And Vicky says she's listening while putting laundry away. Hey, thanks for joining me. And for those that want to listen, I'm starting to put these on the podcast also. So when we get a specific topic, and it's more educational rather than just me BSing in the morning for coffee, when there's more content to it, I'll put that on the podcast, and we'll try to put out one every week. I need to get better with it. I know there's a lot of people asking me to bring the podcast back, and I have been slowly. It's hard to get into that routine of recording it, editing it, getting it out there, and even just coming up with the good content. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, this stinks. So I'll record one and throw it away because I just think it feels like it wasn't my best work, All right, and Mary Decker is with us also. Mary, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. All right, so sleep. It's the most important part of our healthy habits for me. I think it's more important than eating well and exercise. But the problem is eating well and exercise, as we'll talk about in a minute, impact your sleep. And so it's like a holistic approach you have to take to this. And one of the best sources of sleep information was Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. It's a great book. I listened to the audiobook. He narrates it very well. I would absolutely recommend this. If you want to take a deep dive into how to sleep better, then this book by Sean Stevenson, Sleep Smarter, is the way to go. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but his is relatable. It makes a lot of sense, and he goes to scientific research about why why the stuff he recommends is what you want to do. So with that, a couple of the things that improve your sleep, or before you can even develop a good sleep routine or a bedtime routine, you need to take some things into consideration. And you want to set yourself up for success, right? We want to make sure that, we can have the best routine, but if we're cutting ourselves off at the knees, that routine, it's going to get frustrating because you're going to try to adhere to a routine and still not get the results. Kind of everything in life goes that way, right? And so to set yourself up for success, what you want to do, number one, is you want to try to go to bed at the same time every night. It's hard. So for me, one of my daily disciplines is in bed by 10. And so my goal is to try to be in bed every night by 10. And when that doesn't happen, I feel it. I have a harder time the next day, and it breaks that sleep cycle. And I think that's the biggest detriment, but it's also the most common. Even last night, we went out with friends for dinner, and my kids were up late. I was up late. I didn't get to bed until 12 o'clock. Most mornings, if you have been to the morning coffee sessions with me, most mornings I'm up at 5:30 to do a 6 o'clock session. I didn't wake up until 8 o'clock this morning. In fact, my dad called me. He said, "Did I wake you up?" I was like, "Yeah, I was out." It was 8 hours right then, right? It was 8 o'clock. I went to bed a little bit after 12. I got my 8 hours, but that shifted my entire sleep cycle. And so now it's going to be a struggle because tonight now I'm going to want to go to bed later because I'm not going to be tired. And then tomorrow morning it's going to be a struggle to get out of bed again. And then Monday, look out. If I don't fix this in the next couple of days, it's going to be really hard Monday morning at 5:30. And what the research is saying is that just one day, even 1 hour different from your usual, will mess up your rhythm. And so while it's not realistic, I think it's just important to realize that if we can minimize those changes and minimize the negative impact to our sleep cadence, then we have a better result. And, it's one of those things that when you sleep, when you're not sleeping well, when you're not getting good sleep, you don't even realize how bad your mindset is and how bad your thinking is until you get one day of good sleep or a couple in a row. And then you look back and you're like, holy, I didn't realize how irritable I was or how I wasn't thinking clearly and efficiently. Good sleep is important for all, but the very few people that just don't need it for some biological reason. So, try to do this as, adhere to this stuff as best you can. The next one for me is something that I started doing. My ex and I actually did this years ago. It started with taking the TV out of the room, but it's create a sleep sanctuary. And it's like that place where your bedroom is for sleeping, right? Maybe some other things, but mainly for sleeping. But even like my room now, I don't have a TV in my room. I have a desk in my room, but I very rarely use it for work. For the most part, I'm downstairs in the basement, or I'm sitting at the table here doing my work here when it's quiet. I don't like going up in my room. The only time I do is when it's just too loud everywhere else. My bedroom is for sleeping, getting dressed, taking a shower, and then I don't spend any other time there. And so when you have your TV there, it's always a temptation. It's always a blinking light. It's something there that's pulling you away. And there's other people that believe the electromagnetic fields and things can also negatively impact your sleep. I don't know if I go that far, but given what we're learning about all of this stuff, if somebody were to definitively say, oh yeah, it absolutely messes up your sleep, I'd believe it. So, at the most strict way, you remove your phone from it, you remove any light from it, you remove any TV, electronics, everything from your room, and it's just your bed, your dresser, and whatever else you have in there. So you want to create this place where your body doesn't think anything else, your mind doesn't think anything else is supposed to go on there, just sleep. For me, again, my wireless router is not there anymore. The only thing that's there for me is my phone, just because, heaven forbid somebody calls me about my kids, it's got to be there, right? So it's got to be realistic. It has to be a realistic thing that you're doing, but no TV. And in fact, that's one of those things. Like, I think this made me think about dating somebody. Like, I might put it on my profile, I don't have a TV in my bedroom. Like, that might be like that. I think that for me is a non-negotiable. I will not have a TV in my bedroom ever again. It's not in my kids' bedrooms right now. Like, they have a bedroom, and then right next to it is a second bedroom. That's not the bedroom, that's their playroom. That's where their computer and their TVs are. So they sleep in the same room, and then they go into the other room to hang out and play and whatever. Not the same space. And yeah, if I'm dating somebody and they're like, well, you don't watch TV to go to bed? Heck no. And that's a non-negotiable for me. It would mess me up so bad it would have a negative impact on my life, especially now that I've experienced it on both sides. It's just going to be like no for me. No way. The next one is caffeine, minimizing caffeine. So for me, I know if I have caffeine after noon, it messes up my sleep. I feel it. And now you might not feel that until you optimize a lot of other things. But for me, I have a strong correlation between having a coffee at 12:30 and not being able to get to sleep. And so now I'll drink as much coffee as I can between 6 in the morning and noon. But that's my cutoff. That's my rule. That's my bright red line. I can't have coffee after 12. And he goes into, in his book, he goes into the half-life of caffeine and everything else. And it takes a long time to get caffeine out of your system. And it's not even that you can't fall asleep. It's that you can't get into a deep sleep. You can't get that REM sleep going. You don't get that restorative sleep. And that is incredibly important to your health. And when we talk about sleep, we talk about feeling rested and being focused for the next day, but brain health is a key component of this also. And he likens it to, like, when you watch on, I think, fMRI, when you watch a person sleeping in a deep sleep, the brain fluid, it almost looks like a washing machine. Like, it's like going back and forth, and they think it's clearing out toxins and things that build up in your brain. And there's a correlation between lack of sleep and Alzheimer's later in life. And so for optimal brain health, we talk about getting the deepest sleep possible, and caffeine hinders that. So does alcohol. So if you know, like, you can pass out quickly when you're drinking, but a lot of times it's like a restless, uncomfortable sleep. Like for me, I get like hot because I'm dehydrated probably. But yeah, it's like it prevents that deep sleep, so you're not getting that healthy sleep. And the last part about that deep sleep is what they're finding now is that that's when your brain prunes neural pathways that are no longer needed. And so when you think about that with like ADHD and other problems, and a lot of people with ADHD can't sleep well. And it's almost like it's like a continuous cycle where you can't sleep well. It has a negative impact on your ADHD, and then that worsens your ability to sleep. So it's just this downward spiral. So, and when they talk about ADHD and neural pathways, it's that inability to focus on what's most important. And at night, your brain is pruning away what's not important, and building stronger pathways in thought patterns that are important as far as what it's being told. So, that's a different discussion, but the importance being deeper sleep is better sleep. All right, next. Caffeine, now we're going to food. Not having a heavy meal 2 to 3 hours before going to sleep, or even bad snacks. This is actually impacting me now because I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of like acid reflux at night while I'm sleeping, and it happens like 3 or 4 hours into going to sleep. If I'm not careful about the foods that I eat before going to bed, I get a really sour, awful stomach ache in the middle of the night, and it keeps me awake. It pulls me out of sleep. It makes me get up out of bed, eat some Tums, brush my teeth again, like all of that stuff. And if I want good sleep, I have to be very cognizant of eating dinner. And if I do have a snack, it's something like popcorn, something healthy, fruit, but nothing else, nothing like acidic or just junk processed foods, because it just makes me feel like crap all the way through the night, and you don't sleep well. And also sugars, like you want to minimize sugars because as your body's processing them at night, then that energy is in your body and your body's not going to want to sleep. So you're trying to wind it down, not wake it up, right? And sugar's going to wake you up for that short term. This one I love, and I was doing this already before I ever read the book, but it's keeping a cool room, almost cold. So a cool room being like 60 degrees or 65 degrees or maybe a little bit less, whatever is comfortable for you. But a cool room helps you sleep better. If you ever think about those hot summer nights when, like maybe before air conditioning or even before you turn on the air conditioning in the spring, like you try to squeak out a couple of days without using the air conditioning, or if your air conditioning breaks, heaven forbid, which happened to us, it always happens in the worst nights, right? When it's 90 degrees during the day. But it's hard to sleep when it's hot. And so if you can keep your room cool and then, maybe have a heavy blanket, and then you can moderate yourself as you sleep by taking the blanket off or putting it on. But that cool pillow feeling, right? It's that cool feeling through the night keeps you asleep better and gives you more restful sleep. And then the last one, as far as setting yourself up for success, is getting ample daylight, getting ample sunlight exposure, which is hard. And especially like in a situation like me, I work from home. I can be up working in my house and never walk out the door from 6 in the morning until 6 at night, and I never see the sun. And so being cognizant of that, getting outside for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, if it's warm, sometimes I'll eat lunch on the back patio. You can go for a walk around the block or just sit on a bench on your front porch, whatever, just get sunlight. And what that does is it helps you, for one, it helps with vitamin D, which I supplement anyway, but it also helps your body understand the circadian rhythm, like what's actually going on in the environment around you. He goes into all about photoreceptors and things like that in your eyes, and it's the same concept of limiting blue light at night, because while you might not notice a difference, your brain perceives a difference with blue light. It keeps you awake longer. And so in the morning, you actually want to do the opposite. You want to expose yourself to bright light as early as possible when you wake up to get your body to know, okay, now it's time to wake up. So, whether, if you have, any kind of automated Wi-Fi light bulbs or anything in your house, have them pop on when it's time for you to wake up in your bedroom, so your bedroom is light. And then it'll help you wake up better. And then if you can get outside and see the sunrise, it's a great mindfulness practice too. If you can get outside, see the sunrise, maybe take a walk, just kind of feel the warmth if it's warm, but do something to get a stronger relationship with that circadian rhythm. On the flip side of that, he references a study, which sounds amazing to me, but he references a study about having light in your room and how that negatively impacts you. So the smallest glow of light in your room can be a detriment to sleeping well. Could be the power light on any of your electronics. For me, my Wi-Fi router had a bright blue light, which in the middle of the night when nothing else is on, lights up the room. It just shines right up at the ceiling and lights up the entire room. You don't even realize it normally, but when your eyes adjust, now all of a sudden it's bright. And it's a big problem in these communities where they're using these LED streetlights now. It's kind of causing a lot of light pollution and causing a lot of spillage into people's bedrooms. And if they don't have thick curtains, you can't make it dark enough, and those people are not getting good sleep. And it causes, like, there's correlation between a lot of societal problems and not getting good sleep due to this. But for you, in your case, minimizing the light in your room, whether it's a night light, an electronic, coming in from the windows, whatever, minimize that, get as dark as possible. And the one study he references is that they had somebody in a completely dark room, and they had a small LED light on the back of the person's knee in the study. And that light alone, apparently the photoreceptors in the person's skin saw the light and changed this person's brainwaves or impacted his sleep in a negative way. Sounds crazy to me, but like sometimes in the morning, like when it's light and your eyes can't tell, but somehow you just sort of know. Maybe there's a thing there. I don't know. I'm gonna check in on the comments before we move on to the routine setting. Vicky says yes on the podcast. I know. I need to do it. I've been working so much on the website and on our advertising and emails. It's like finding time to do the podcast has been so hard, but I know I need to do it. Definitely need to get a better sleep schedule. Yeah, I know. And I can always improve mine too. I always feel the same way. Yep, no wonder. Mary says, I didn't realize until this last year how important light and sunshine affects your mood. Yeah, absolutely. And vitamin D, my vitamin D has habitually been low, so I'm taking a pretty decent amount as a supplement, and I need to get my blood tested again. But it's all mood, depression. I think even the way your body handles calcium, I think, is related to vitamin D. Don't hold me to that, but I think there's some relationship there. So yeah. All right. So a bedtime routine, like how to develop a healthy bedtime routine, and for me, this is very much related to the healthy morning routine, the miracle morning type stuff. A healthy bedtime routine, I think because we're not trying to be productive and our end goal is sleep, it's a little bit harder to perceive the benefit of the nighttime routine until you get into it for a while and then you look back and you're like, wow, okay, things did improve. So for me, I pick the healthy things that I need to do, and I try to organize them in a way that gets me to bed at a certain time. So I approach it like this, and we do this when we're mapping out our ideal day and define my day. The first thing we do is create a time to wake up and a time we go to bed. And for me, my goal is 7 to 8 hours, and so I try to always give myself opportunity to sleep 8, and if I only go for 7, fine. So my wake up time I set for 6, which actually changed to 5:30 since I'm doing the 6 o'clock live sessions. But so if my wake up time now is 5:30, my bedtime is 10. So that gives me 7.5 hours of sleep. If I go beyond that, I'm now cutting into all of that time because very rarely do I get to sleep in past 5:30. And if I want to keep a good rhythm, that's what my bookmarks are on my day. 5:30 wake up, 10 o'clock to bed. And anything outside of that is going to mess up my routine. Now, if I want to get in bed by 10 o'clock, that doesn't mean walking up the stairs and laying in bed. I have a lot of things I need to do before I go to bed, right? Now, It's easier when I don't have the kids because I'm always, hey guys, 9:30, time to go to bed, right? And then you're dealing with them trying to get them in bed. But let's say in a vacuum, let's say we're doing this by ourselves, no extraneous issues. So I've picked my bedtime that gives me 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And what I have to do from then is work back generally about 30 minutes, sometimes 60, depending on what's in there in my routine. So you block off a half an hour before that. That means you have to start getting ready at 9:30. And again, you might be 11, so 10:30. This is just my example based on what I do. Now, I want to keep the same routine, the same sequence of events. So what I do then is write down all of the things that I have to do before I go to bed. Hopefully I've done things like feed the fish or, all the stuff around the house, do the dishes and things like that. I'm talking strictly getting to bed. So I need to brush my teeth. I need to floss. Maybe I need to shower or wash my face. I need to put in my retainer. I need to take out my contacts. I need to change my clothes at the very least. Maybe if one of the habit hacks to get out the door in the morning to work out is to set out your clothes the night before. So maybe if you're setting out your shoes and your clothes the night before or sleeping in your workout gear, maybe you have to do that before you go to bed. And maybe if you're really into this, you read and or journal before going to bed. So you can see why maybe it might take more than 30 minutes to do some of this. Reading for me puts me to sleep. So if I were to sequence this in the order that is ideal for me, I'm going to say brush my teeth, then shower, then take out my contacts, change my clothes first. I'll put clothes on, right? Then take out my contacts, put in my retainer, and then I would lay down and journal and read. And I'm telling you, reading will knock me out. I can read during the day for an hour or two, at lunch or whatever. But reading right before bed, I start to scan that page and I'm out, right? I'm done. But it takes a lot of time generally. Like it's like that, even that 15 minutes. I'm struggling, especially with kids in the house, struggling to find that time. So for me, I block off about 20 minutes for myself and I do all of this stuff. I brush, I floss, I shower, get dressed, take out my contacts, put my retainer in, and then I lay down in bed. The urge for a lot of people is to grab their phone, and it is there for me too. Let me check one more thing. Let me check your emails, messages, social media. That pull is there. And a lot of times I found myself doing it, and then I'm falling asleep, and I'm still scrolling. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Nothing here is valuable for me. Nothing here is having a positive impact on me. I just need to go to bed. And so if you can fight the urge to even start doing that, put your phone down, put it away, put it across the room if you can. If you're worried about being available for other people, then leave it there. Just fight the urge to pick it up. And so if you can have that routine, that would be ideal, right? That if you can follow that routine and just do the same thing every single time, everything that leads you, like it's all flowing to get you to lay down. Now, I know that if you're with somebody that's not following this routine, or you're with somebody that likes to watch TV at night, even if they're watching it in a different room and going to bed later, them getting in the bed can wake you up. And so it's like maybe you have to be on the same page. Maybe you have to give a little grace and try to gently get them on the same page. But it's hard. It's a hard, but we're also talking about our health, so it's also important. And we're realizing the importance of this after we've already made spousal decisions and who we're with. So, right now I have the luxury of saying, well, I don't have a TV in my room, and I'm never going to have a TV in my room. And I have the luxury of when I meet somebody, staking my, putting my flag down on that hill, and saying that like that's a non-negotiable for me, and then they can say, well, okay, or not, right? But a lot of times we're finding this out 20, 30 years later and realizing we need to make this change, and the other person's not on board with it, and that's a tougher situation to navigate. And so at that point, it's a matter of doing the things that you can control and then trying to negotiate and discuss and work out a plan for the things that are harder to deal with. And you're getting into relationship stuff there, but it's all part of it, right? Our relationships are one of the biggest health factors in our lives, whether it's friends, parents, spouses, whatever. We are strongly influenced by our relationships. And so we can intend to do all this stuff, but with a lack of support, or sometimes even people working against us, it's hard. So it's an important thing to bring up in this. Brenda says, we have blackout shades and use sleep masks. That's awesome. I don't have a sleep mask yet. It's been on my like shopping list. Like, it's one of those things that I'll probably eventually pull the trigger on. My advantage now is that sleeping alone, usually in the house by myself 50% of the time, my room is dark. I have nothing unexpected that I'm going to walk into or step on. And I have a really, really, really dark nightlight in my bathroom, so I can just wake up and start walking towards that light and see where I need to go for the bathroom. But yeah, I can imagine, like, if you can both be in agreement that blackout shades and sleep masks, like dark, that's great. Good for you. And then Mary says, I totally relate to the phone issues of you and have struggles with it in the morning, getting into that instead of my regular morning routines like prayer. That's actually a very good point. And that's a different topic in morning routine, but the phone, the pull, like the instantly waking up and going to your phone, I've seen somebody liking it to being the difference between setting your own path and immediately letting the world in and influence your thoughts and your actions. And I get that. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to be highly disciplined to do that. And if you imagine, if you don't look at your phone, if you don't watch the news, if you don't do all that stuff in the morning, you're just doing what's most important for you. The minute you start opening yourself up to the outside world, you're being influenced. And I'm not saying in a conspiratorial way. I'm saying in just your energy and emotions, your attention is all going in different areas, where if you don't let all that stuff in, you're doing your best thing, hopefully, without all of that. So yeah, if you can avoid it, great. But I know for me, the first thing I do is look at how did sales end yesterday? Where are we this morning? Are there any emergencies? Any comments I need to respond to on social media? That's my first thing in the morning that I'm looking at for 5 minutes, and then I'm off doing my thing. If you get caught, like sometimes in the morning, in fact, I think I did it today. I woke up 8 o'clock and I started scrolling through social media, and I think I might have been there for 20 minutes. It's not great, but sometimes it happens. Do you want to make that a habit? No, because I don't want to burn 20 minutes of my morning on social media, for sure. You need a lockbox. You need to freeze it. Put it in the freezer. All right, Mary, I'm going to give you your choice, since you've been active on this discussion. I'm going to give you your choice of pens or the Mega Sticker Pack. Which one do you like? I'm sorry, you can't. It's not like the most focused. There we go. There's focus right there. Which one do you like? I'll give you the one that you want, and then that is going to be it for our giveaways. So you pick which one you want, and then that's it for the day. And we're getting ready. I mean, I can't believe Christmas is almost a week away. It's flying by. I think most of my shopping's done. I'm hoping not all of your shopping's done. If you need more stuff, we have it. But we had a pretty good holiday season. Looking forward to our crazy season, which is getting into New Year's and all of that stuff. So the New Year's resolutions and all of that is going to be hitting us pretty hard here this week and after. So yeah. And then what we're going to do here, we actually, if you're an existing customer, one of the great deals, even if you're not an existing customer, one of the great things we're offering right now is there is a mastermind, like an ultimate bundle that we're offering right now. And next year we're going to do a subscription mastermind for $50 a month, where we have a talk like this live every month with a small group of people. And we'll have a topic, but it'll also be, and you'll be on video too, or audio, and we'll talk about like what's going on, how to better use Define My Day, how to be better focused, improve our health. And it's going to be a small group setting like that online. And that's going to be $50 a month. But right now we have an ultimate bundle, which is 1 year of planners, a couple of accessories, and a full year's access to this mastermind. We have a couple left. And if you want the version of the Define My Year that we're offering, you can buy the Platinum Planner, 4 of them, or you can get a variety of colors. If you don't see something, the color variety that you want, let us know and we can put it together for you. Right now, the seasonal covers on the website are sold out, but we do have a couple left. So if you like the spring covers, if you want some of the Christmas ones in there, we can give you the Define My Year. Just set up a ticket with us on the help menu on the website, and we'll build that for you. And then for $250, and by the way, so the whole year of the mastermind is $600. You're getting a whole year of it, plus $150 worth of Define My Day planners, plus accessories, plus a $50 gift card to buy other stuff later. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If it's something that you're into, that you're going to commit to for the next year, I would 100% advise that you do this. Even if you already have planners, it's ridiculously worth it. And you can always bring in a friend, give them the extra planners you have, or maybe have 2 years of planners. So look into it. It's the ultimate bundle. You'll see it on the website. Okay, so the help button, Brenda. If you go to definemyday.com, it'll take you to our store. On the bottom right-hand corner is a blue question mark. And if you click on that, and let me double check and make sure it's there, because every so often that has disappeared on us. Oh, wouldn't you know it? It did disappear on us. It was just there last week. Is that crazy? Sorry. So, we just used it last week. So if you email help@definemyday.com, we will be able to help you out there. And I will figure out why. There must have been an update on the website. I will figure out why that's not there for you. Yeah, we'll get that. So I apologize, Brenda. I'm sending you on a wild goose chase. No, it shouldn't make a difference whether you're on your iPad. That just needs to be fixed. So I will fix that today. So if it's not one thing, it's another. Technology today. Email help@definemyday.com. So we have Brenda with the highlighters, and we have Mary with the pens. So congratulations. Awesome. Happy to send them out to you. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to get on to my day, check out what's going on in fantasy football and football in general, eat some lunch, and enjoy my time with my boys. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll do another one of these. In fact, I almost forgot. I'm going to do another one of these tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So we're going to do a Sunday morning coffee. A little bit later in the day for the people on the West Coast, and for people that don't want to wake up super early on a Sunday, we're going to do another morning coffee. It'll be here on the Define My Day page. It'll be on the YouTube channel, and it'll be in the user group, depending on where you want to find it. The normal morning coffee is in the user group only, just so it's a little bit more something special for the user group. But this one will be public, so you can do it there. We'll see you there. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. So have a great day today. I will see you all tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and have a great night.